I'd like to welcome y'all back to Beyond the Fear podcast, a place where y'all come for some motivation, inspiration, encouragement, and just a positive word. Today's episode is a lesson that I'm still learning myself, and that's that sometimes you got to go through some journeys alone. And what I mean by that is when you're finding your purpose or you're walking on your journey, or you know what I'm saying, you're following your dreams, you're chasing your goals, whatever it is that you're doing. Not everybody is going to be okay with following you. Not everybody's going to be okay with the sacrifice and the time commitment and things like that that you have to put into pursuing the things that you want. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because this is your journey. This is what you want to do. This is your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. And you got to understand that not everybody's willing to fall in line. Not everybody's willing to make those sacrifices. Not everybody's going to be willing to, put in the time needed to make your dreams happen. And that's okay. That does not make them bad people. And it does not make you a bad person for not wanting them around once you see that they can't, make those sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand that these are your goals and the things that you want to do. And it's okay that some of the people around you, some of the people that you grew up with, don't want to make those sacrifices to make those dreams happen. And you know what I'm saying? That's okay. You got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with being alone. You got to be okay with being separated from people for a time while you go through whatever it is that you need to go through to get to wherever you need to get to. And I feel like that's one of the things that I'm going through now. One of the phases that I'm going through now. I'm going through a phase of, okay, it's time to isolate. It's time to start to separate away from people. It's time to start um, shifting your gears, because I understand that this for me is what I want to be doing. Because like I said before, this is like I put a good bit into this, and at no time and at no time does it feel like work. You know what I'm saying? So I know that this is what I want to be doing, because this is one of the things that gives me joy to do. You know what I'm saying? Coming up with these topics and then breaking these topics down and everything that I get to do. And like I said, I can't wait until I'm able to do that with people, because right now I'm just doing it by myself. I can't wait until I'm at a point where I can start bringing people on and really just start to break stuff down with somebody else and not just breaking it down myself. And and I believe that that'll come. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta keep doing what I'm doing. And and when once I get everything done that I need to get done, I'll be able to start advancing to those next levels. But right now, I'm making sure my foundation is good, putting my groundwork in, so that way when I go to pave that road, everything is nice and smooth. So that's what I'm kind of going through right now, is just an isolation season and a separation season. And again, that's no knock on any of the people that I'm isolating from or getting ready to isolate myself from. It's just we're going in two totally different directions, and that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the direction that you're going in. It's just for where I'm trying to go, the goals and the dreams and the things that I'm trying to achieve. I need to go one way, and for you to get to wherever you need to go, you got to go another way. And that's okay. I think that now I realize for myself that genuinely that's okay. I'm not trying to force people to stay in my life when they don't need to, or when they've already served whatever purpose they was going to serve, or when I've learned whatever lesson I needed to learn from them. There's no need for me to continue trying to, excuse me, there's no need for me to continue trying to force them to stay where they don't want to be or where they may not belong. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to understand that and I know I've said this before, that when people start to separate, you know what I'm saying? It's not, hey, me giving up on you, hey, me giving up on a relationship. It's me saying, hey, I got to put myself first. I got to take care of me. And now I'm allowing people, or I'm not trying to fight against people taking care of themselves. I'm not fighting against me trying to take care of myself by going after my goals. I'm not trying to stop people from distancing themselves from me because there may be something in me that might be bringing out something bad in them. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm just more accepting and understanding of, hey, I just need some space. Hey, this ain't working. Hey, I need time to myself. You know, I'm way more understanding of that because I see it for what it is. This person is choosing them. This person is choosing to heal. This person is choosing to get out of this bad situation, as opposed to it being all about me, like, oh, they giving up on me, oh, they not rocking with me anymore. And you know what I'm saying? I looked at life from a very selfish standpoint and made everything about me instead of looking at things from the other person's standpoint or looking at things from the other person's point of view. I just kept everything about me. Like, why is this person trying to leave me? Why is this person trying to? And it's not that. It's just, again, the mindset that I had. I didn't want anything for myself, or if I did want anything, or if I did want something for myself, I wasn't willing to work for it. And even if I was willing to work for it, I wasn't willing to sacrifice for it. And so now that I'm getting to a point where I found something that I am willing to work for and I am willing to sacrifice for, it's kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things. And it's not just that, it's also, like I've said before, my last relationship taught me a lot. And I'm so thankful for the things that my last relationship taught me. But like I've said before, I do hate that we put each other through so much to get to this point, to this level of understanding. But unfortunately, it needed to happen. And so, because now the new level of understanding that I have, and now that I have something that I'm actually passionate about, something that I'm willing to work and sacrifice for, is that has also elevated my understanding even more. So now when I have people, when I'm going through these like seasons of isolation or these seasons of separation, I'm understanding. I know that there's a purpose to it. I know that there's a lesson to it. I know that there's a reason for it. And I have to figure these things out so that way, you know, I'm not continuing to bump heads with people, whether it be that same person who comes back into my life or new people who might have similar mindsets, similar backgrounds, similar thoughts, similar ways of living. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to maneuver with people who have similar mannerisms because I'm learning the lessons now. I'm taking a step back. I'm not looking at it from a selfish standpoint. I'm looking at it from the standpoint of, this could be good for everybody involved. It can be good for me because now this gives me time to reflect on my actions, reflect on my the way I interacted with this person and things like that. And then it gives the person the space, the time, and whatever else they need to go do what they need to do and figure things out for themselves. So I'm starting to embrace the isolation and the separation as opposed to running from it, or as opposed to attacking the person who's trying to separate from me. Because I used to look at it like, oh, you leaving me, or oh, you don't feel like I'm good enough, or you know what I'm saying. And those are my insecurities, you know what I'm saying, that were bubbling up to the surface. And now that I'm starting to learn how to love myself, learn how to realize, you know what, I am enough, learning how to be proud of myself, and still understanding that there's still a lot of work that I need to do, but understanding that at my core, I am enough. And at my core, I am a good person. But there are a lot of things that, you know what I'm saying, that my experiences and my traumas, you know what I'm saying, I've created a lot of bad habits over the years, and I've created a lot of bad reactions to things. And now I have to start doing the work to get better at those things. And even though, yes, I still have a lot of work to do, but like I said, at my core, I am enough and I am worthy of, you know, the love and the respect and all the things that I want. But I also have to put the work in to earn those things. You know what I'm saying? It's not just enough to feel like you deserve those things. You got to put the work in to earn those things, and you got to put the work in to make sure that you're giving people the same respect and the same love that you're asking for from them. And so that's where I am in my journey, is just putting in the work to make sure that I'm giving everything that I'm asking to receive, that I'm putting out there everything that I'm asking to get back from people. I'm making sure that people feel the love, the energy, the respect, all of those things that I ask for when people come into my circle or I go into theirs. I'm making sure that they feel the same thing that I'm asking for in return. I'm making sure that I'm giving those same things that I ask for in return. And I'm working to get rid of my bad habits that I've developed over the years. And so I say all of that to say I'm embracing these seasons of isolation because it allows me to look within. It allows me to focus on more time to focus on me. It allows me more time to focus on the way I interacted with this person, the way I reacted to this person, the way I fed off of this person's energy, the way that they fed off of mine. What type of energy did I give out? You know what I'm saying? And all of these things. And it's just giving me time to self reflect on myself and also just reflect on them and reflect on the people that I choose to have around me, because some of us just have a bad, what's the word I'm looking for? We have a bad judge of character. Some of us, you know what I'm saying? We just, some people just see the good in people and that's all they see. They don't see the bad. They don't see the negative. They don't see how draining some people are. You know what I'm saying? They're just so trusting, so loving, so caring that all they see is the good in people, and they don't see how draining this person is, or how much this person is draining their energy, draining their happiness, draining their positivity, and turning them into a negative person because they're allowing these people to use up all of their positive energy, to soak up all of their positive energy, and nobody's giving that positive energy back to them in return. So, you know what I'm saying? This time is very valuable on both sides, for both parties. I mean, for everybody involved. And so, man, I just tell people to just start embracing these isolation seasons. You know what I'm saying? Don't go trying to fill that hole or fill that void with another person. Instead, when somebody, you know, of importance or somebody special, you know what I'm saying they need space, give them that space. And instead of trying to fill that void with another person, fill that void with yourself, loving yourself, caring for yourself, picking yourself up, you know what I'm saying, being proud of yourself, or doing something that you know is going to make yourself proud. You know what I'm saying? Get back to, because you got to love yourself first. That's what it comes down to. So all your insecurities, it's time to start getting rid of those, you know, during your seasons of isolations, the things that you hate about yourself, you can't stand about yourself, the things that you know are wrong with you, as far as your mentality and your personality. You know, if you have a very standoffish personality, and you know that standoffish personality is getting in the way of you working with people or whatever the case may be, start working on yourself. Take this time to work on yourself, because no matter how great of a person you are, there's always something you can be doing to work on yourself. There's always something you can be doing to improve. So instead of filling that void with a new person, fill that void with yourself. Fill that void with time for self care, self love, self appreciation, self respect. Start putting all that energy, that void, that time and that energy that's now a big void because that person's gone. Put that time into yourself, into loving yourself, caring for yourself, respecting yourself, and just building yourself back up. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing I do know about life is going to tear you down. You know what I'm saying? Life is gonna life, as people say, and it's going to tear you down. And man, you got to take that time to build yourself back up. You know what I'm saying? And now, if you're lucky enough and you got a good village around you, got good people around you, of course they'll help build you up. But you can't always rely on that. You got to be able to build yourself up. You got to be able to make yourself happy. You got to be able to love yourself. You got to be able to appreciate and be thankful for yourself. You know what I'm saying? That way, you're not relying on other people for your validation or to make you feel like somebody, or to make you feel loved and respected and appreciated. You got to, all of those things have to start from within. Now, like I said, if you got a good village around you, good people around you, of course they can help take you to new levels, take your love for yourself to new levels. But it has to start with you. You have to love yourself first. So that way, when you hear people tell you how much they love you, when you hear people tell you how much they appreciate you and respect you, you know what I'm saying? You can truly hear them, because I feel like for me, what I've noticed is when people don't love themselves and when people don't care for themselves, you can tell them how beautiful they are. You can tell them how amazing of a person they are. They don't believe you because they don't believe they don't believe it themselves. So if they don't believe that they're a beautiful person, whether you're talking about beautiful on the outside or beautiful on the inside, if they don't believe it, then they're not going to believe you when you say it. So for me, take this time to start doing those things, to start building yourself up from the inside out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the most important thing. And you know what I'm saying? Start learning whatever lessons, because, and I feel like that's where me and my ex, you know what I'm saying? That's where we messed up. We never took that time when we were apart to learn the lesson. Both of us, not just her, but me as well. We both never learned the lesson. So when we would get back together, we having the same arguments about some of the same things, because we weren't taking the time to learn the lesson. We weren't taking the time to try to see things from each other's viewpoint. I wasn't trying to see, I'm so mad, I'm not trying to see her viewpoint. She's mad at me, so she's not trying to see my viewpoint. And then the fact that, you know what I'm saying, we're not trying to see each other's viewpoint made us even more mad, because it's like, you're being selfish. You're not looking at it from my perspective. And it was fair on both sides. She had a right to be mad because I wasn't looking at it from her perspective. I had a right to be mad because I wasn't looking at it from her perspective. I didn't want to take the time to see her viewpoint, because I felt like, what's the point if you're not taking the time to see mine? And again, if I would have had at least somewhat of the level of understanding and compassion that I have now, and again, I hate that it took us going through so much to get here, but at least I can say I'm here now. I would have taken a step back, and I would have taken the time to just genuinely hear her out with what she was saying, and not trying to talk over her, not trying to defend myself with every word that she said, but just genuinely listen and genuinely hear her. And you know what I'm saying? And try to genuinely have a conversation where she gets to express herself. I just sit back and listen, and I let her tell whatever it is, no matter how I may feel, man. No matter if I feel like, okay, she's forgetting this part, or she's not telling the truth with this part, or she's not telling the whole story here, but just sit back and listen and absorb everything that she's saying, and just try to get where she's coming from. That way I can have a better understanding as to why she's mad, because I can understand, I can hear where she's coming from, and I can understand, because I can take I can take a step back and for a second put myself in her shoes and say, okay, if this was me, I probably would have handled it a certain way as well. And so, with those certain levels of understanding come certain levels of compassion. And, at that time, I don't feel like either of us had those levels of understanding and those levels of compassion for each other. So there was no grace to give the other person, because we just weren't there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always try to preference, when I talk about my last relationship, I always preference it with, neither of us were bad people. It was just bad timing, and we were in bad places mentally and emotionally. And that's all it was. And that's all it still is to this day. She's not a bad person. I'm not a bad person, but we were just in bad places. And neither of us had taken the time to go talk to a therapist or talk to whoever we needed to talk to start forgiving people and healing from the things that people had done to us mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it is. And so, again, now that I have more of an understanding, now that I went through all that time, and I went through all of those things, all of that hurt, where I did some hurting to her, she did some hurting to me. And now it's gotten me to this point to where I have a certain level of understanding. And like I said, naturally that comes with a certain level of compassion. Now I can look at things differently. So now I can approach someone saying to me, hey, you my dog, I rock with you. but the road that you're going down, I can't follow, or the road that you're going down, man, I can't be there with you. I can take that now as, you know what, he knows what he or she's going, who knows what they're going through. Let them go through what they need to go through. I need to go through what I need to go through. There's nothing wrong with my friend telling me, hey, I need to put myself first and I need to go on my own journey. I respect everything that you're doing. I see you walking your walk. Go walk your walk. I need to walk mine. And so now now I can hear things like that and I can take it for exactly what it is. This person putting themselves first, or them person understanding the places that I'm finna go, they don't want to go or they can't go, because in order to go there, they're going to have to change something about themselves that they're not ready to change or don't want to change, or they feel like they don't need to change. And that's fair. That doesn't mean that they're not my friend. It doesn't mean that they don't care about me. It just means that they understand and they see, they care enough about me to let me know ahead of time that, hey, this walk that you walking, that's your walk. This part of your, at the very least, this part of your walk that you're walking isn't for me. I'm not there. It's not my time to walk with you, walk beside you, walk behind you, walk with you. You know what I'm saying? There may come a time when there is a point where I need to be there for you, but this ain't it. You know what I'm saying? And I can take I can take that for what it genuinely is, at least for me. I know other people are probably hearing and, you know, feel a different way. But for me, I can take that as somebody who sees, okay, you getting ready to walk, you know what I'm saying? You getting ready to go down a path that I'm not ready to go down, or you getting ready to go down a path that requires a certain level of sacrifice I'm not ready to give. And I can respect that because, you know what I'm saying, putting myself in their shoes, if I know that my friend getting ready to do something and I want to be supportive, but I know that in order for me to stay in the position that I'm in with them, I would have to be willing to make the sacrifice as well. And I know for a fact that this isn't something that I'm willing to sacrifice for, or this isn't something that I'm willing to sacrifice in my life at this moment. Excuse me. Then I have to be willing to tell them, hey, I got to support you from a distance. You know what I'm saying? I got to, you know what I'm saying, let you go down this particular part of your journey on your own and just support you from here. It's still love. It's still, hey, when you call me, I'm there. I pick up, we talk, we chop it up for hours, whatever. I give you the best advice that I have. You know what I'm saying? Whether you listen, you don't listen, but I'm at least here. Just know that when you call, I'm here. When you need to talk, I'm here. When you need somebody, just know that I'm here. I just can't go down this particular part of your journey with you. And so I say all of that to say, man, when you trying to find your purpose, or you're walking in your purpose, or you chasing your dreams, your goals, whatever, it's okay that some of your friends are going to fall off at some point, because at some point in your journey, you may have to sacrifice things that they're not willing to sacrifice or whatever. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Don't look at them. I mean, again, depending on how they handle it. As long as they handling it the right way, you got to understand that this is your dream, this is your purpose, this is your goal, and it's not a journey that everybody's going to be able to go every step with you. Some steps you're going to have to take alone. Some parts you're going to have to go into certain places on your own by yourself, because this is for you. You know what I'm saying? They might want to eat off of your success or whatever, but at the end of the day, this is your journey. This is for you. So there are going to be certain parts of your journey where you got to walk in that cave alone, or you got to walk through that tunnel by yourself, or you got to brave this path by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because their resolve isn't your resolve, because this isn't their journey at the end of the day. And I know that, and again, speaking from experience, I do understand that having people who you've known for years makes things way more comfortable, makes it way easier to do, makes it way more comfortable, you know what I'm saying, to get through those hard parts of the journey. But sometimes you need to go through those hard parts by yourself, because now you respect, now it makes it a lot harder for you to walk away from this journey, because you just blazed that trail, you just went through that tough journey, you just went through some of the roughest parts of your journey, and you had to go through it alone. Now it makes you appreciate your journey a lot more. Now it makes it a lot harder for those distractions to take you off your path, because you just went through so much stuff. And it's like, ain't no way I just went through all of this just to give up now. Ain't no way I just made it through to the other side of this storm just to give up now, just to fall to these distractions. Now bump these distractions. I'm keeping my eye on the prize. I'm keeping my eye on the end of my journey, at the end of my goal, whatever it may be, whatever it may look like. That's where my focus is. So sometimes we got to go through these tough parts alone to refocus ourselves, because we see ourselves starting to stray away from the path because of these distractions. So sometimes we got to go through those tough journeys, because we know when things get tough, when things get rough, people are going to fall off. You know what I'm saying? People are going to start to walk away. People are going to start to slow down. They ain't going to keep up as much. They ain't going to call as much. They ain't going to talk as much. They ain't going to show up as much when times is rough. So sometimes we got to go through those tough parts of our journey just to reassess everything, to reevaluate everything, to reshape the our environment. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, especially once we start making it, we start making some money. We want to put extra people on the ship because our ship is big enough. The ship can hold, and what we got to realize is sometimes when you bring other people onto that ship, they're carrying stuff. They're holding on to an anchor. So even though you just bringing this person on, but you're bringing this person on with their baggage, whether their baggage be drugs or their baggage be whatever their baggage is, you putting that person onto your ship, but you also bringing their baggage, you also bringing their anchors, you also bringing their weight. So even though the ship is big enough, you know what I'm saying, that engine may not be that engine may not be powerful enough to keep pushing you and all this weight. And so now you just kind of stuck in this spot. And so we got to go through those tough times in our journeys to shake some of that dead weight, to shake some of those people off who don't need to be there, at least in these moments, because you just never know. Because you shaking that person, and I mean, and obviously I'm just saying this in a metaphorical way, but you shaking that person, or you going through that tough patch, and that person now falling off to the wayside, that could be a journey for them, because now they might be having to realize, okay, I've hit rock bottom, let me get my life together. So you just never know what you know what I'm saying, journeys people need to go through, because I've seen people hold on to friendships and hold on to people and try to drag people along with them when they need to let this person go so that this person can go down the path that they need to go down. So sometimes you going through a rough patch in your journey is for you, but it's also for that friend that you're trying to hold on to, and you're trying to drag them with you. You know what I'm saying? But their lifestyle and their decisions are letting you realize that they're not ready. You know what I'm saying? They're not ready to go on this part of the journey with you, but you're trying to drag them along because you want to be a good friend. And so sometimes we got to go through those tough parts of the journey to realize, okay, I got to let you go. You know what I'm saying? You're making my journey, you're making these tough times longer for me because I'm trying to drag you. And sometimes you got to let them go. So you, number one, so you can get through your tough part of your journey, and now they can stand up on their own 2 feet and realize, now I gotta go walk my own path. And hopefully, y'all paths reemerge at some point in time down the road. But right now, you so far straying them off their path because you're trying to take them with you, because you understand that you want the best for them, but you gotta understand that you don't know what the best is for them. You don't know what they need to go through to get to where they need to get to. Because as long as you're pulling them along and you're babying them and you're enabling them, you know what I'm saying, that's not the best for them. Sometimes they gotta hit rock bottom. Sometimes they gotta go do a couple of months in the jail, or they got to do a couple of months in rehab, or they got to do a few years of isolation away from people so that way they can get on the path that they need to get on. So, I know, because I know that I'm like that too. I know that my first instinct would be to just drag this friend along because I know that they make bad decisions. But as long as I'm dragging them and I'm trying to protect them from the real world, I'm trying to protect them from the police, I'm trying to protect them from the people that they're stealing from. As long as I'm doing that, they're going to still make those decisions because they know, hey, I got DJ to lean on, or I got this person who's doing good for themselves. I know I got them to lean on. So at some point, you got to quit giving them that support and let them fall and let them go through whatever it is that they need to go through. So, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes those tough parts of your journey aren't just for you. They may be for the people that you're trying to hold on to and you're trying to bring along with you because you're trying to be a good friend. And sometimes being a good friend, and sometimes the best thing you can do for people is to choose yourself. And, you know what I'm saying? You got to let them fall. You got to let them see, you got to let them feel the consequences of their actions. Sometimes that's the best thing that you can do for people. And, you know, and maybe sometimes that's what your the tough part of your journey is trying to teach you. You holding on to too many people. You trying to carry way too many people. You doing way too much. We gotta get rid of this weight. We gotta let them fall. We gotta let them learn. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta let that kid touch that stove. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying, you gotta let that kid put their foot in that ant bed and get bit a couple times, you know, and I know that that sounds bad, but they gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta learn that there's consequences to everything that you're doing. So as long as you got your friends on your back trying to carry them, you're enabling them because you're allowing them to go do make these dumb decisions. And there's no consequences because you're constantly covering up for them. So sometimes you got to remove that cover, you got to remove that support and let them fall and let them, you know what I'm saying, catch all of these consequences to their actions. And now they can you know, once they hit rock bottom, now they have a choice to make. I can either stay here or I can get on the path that I need to get on to start moving forward in life. And so there's always a lesson in those rough times. There's always a lesson. I don't care what your rough times look like. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. Sometimes we're going through so much that or something, we go through so much pain, you know what I'm saying, from losing somebody, or so much pain from whatever your tough time may look like, that you don't even want to think about whatever the lesson is, or the lesson may be the last thing on your mind. But there's always something to learn in every single bad situation, tough time, whatever it is that you're going through. There's always a lesson to learn, and sometimes that lesson is, okay, you got to choose you. You got to put yourself first. Sometimes it's just that simple. You got to be okay with leaving some people behind because they don't care about you. They don't care about what their actions are doing to you. They don't care about how their actions are hurting you. They don't care about your career, what you're trying to do. All they care about is what they're going through. And sometimes you got to let those type of people who have those mindsets, you just got to let them fall. You got to let them feel the consequences to their actions. And so, you know, and that might be the whole reason why you're going through it, is because you got to realize it, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to go through some stuff to realize, to even see, okay, yeah, I'm carrying way too much. I'm doing way too much for these guys. I'm doing more for them than I'm doing for myself. And sometimes, you know, life got to hit us hard for us to realize that. Sometimes life got to hit us with a reality check for us to see that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. But I'm saying all that to say, if you're going through that tough time right now and you seeing your friends fall off, or you seeing your friends back away from you, or you seeing your friends not willing to sacrifice, you know, that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Take that for what it is. Just know that as long as you doing what you know that you need to be doing, and you living in your purpose, or you pursuing your dream, you're pursuing whatever it is that you're trying to do, understand that there are going to be people who are going to fall off at every part of your journey, at every stage. The higher you get, the more it's going to be asked of you, the more there's going to be demanded of you, and the more you're going to have to sacrifice certain things. And so just understand that you're trying to get to this new level, this new life. You're going to have to sacrifice things from the old levels and from your old life. And the more that you have to sacrifice, the more that there are going to be some people who fall off, and that's okay. Don't look at it as, you know, oh, I'm lonely, or oh, no, just look at it like you're making space for the right type of people, the right people who need to be in your life. Because and also look at it as, I'm making more space for myself. You're making space for the right type of people to be in your life, but you're also making space for yourself, because too many times you're having to hold yourself back because you're trying to morph into something new, something bigger, something better, but you're having to hold yourself back because you're trying to bring your friends along, and you're trying to bring all these people from your past along. But once you start to let those people go, now you got room to spread your wings. Now you got room to morph into this amazing thing that you're trying to morph into, but you can't because you don't have the room, because you allowing too many people on your boat. So once you start to get those people off your boat, and you start to make room for yourself, now you can morph into whatever it is that you need to morph into, or whatever it is that you're trying to transform into to get to wherever you're trying to be, and this new level in life that you're trying to get to. And you understanding that you got to become something new to get to something new. You can't keep doing it. You can't continue being the same person you've been and doing the same things you've been doing and make it to newer levels. You gotta become something more to get more. You got to be willing to sacrifice the things that, you know what I'm saying, you were doing. You got to be willing to sacrifice that lifestyle and those things to get to better. And so when you start to let people go, it makes it easier to sacrifice that old to start building the new, to sacrifice your old ways to start building your new ways, because your new ways may be conflicting with your old ways. So you got to let the old ways go, because you understand what the old ways going to get you. The old ways are going to get you the old results. You want these new results, you got to start doing the new ways. And so as you start to let the things and the people go that have been keeping you tied to the old ways, it allow you to get to these new ways and allow you to transform into whoever you need to be. So no matter what you're going through, man, just go through it. You know, there are going to be people that fall off because they aren't willing to sacrifice, or this ain't their purpose. This is yours. So you got to walk this walk. In some parts, you're going to have to walk by yourself, but that's okay. That's going to help build you. That's going to help build your foundation, and it's going to help to attract the right type of people into your life. So just keep pushing, keep doing what you need to do. And as people fall off, just understand that they needed to fall off in that moment, and hopefully once they hit rock bottom or hit wherever they land, hopefully they land on their feet and they start to, you know what I'm saying, make their own journey. But there are times when you got to be selfish. There's times when you just got to put yourself first. I'm not even gonna call it selfish, but it's a necessity. And there are times when you have to put yourself first. And so if you're going through one of those times, don't feel bad for putting yourself first. This is what you got to do to get through to your journey, because you got to take care of you before you can try to take care of anybody else. Don't try to take care of somebody while you're in the middle of taking care of yourself, because now you stop your care to give them care. And at some point, your care is going to run out because you're not caring for yourself. You're trying to care for somebody else. And that person that you're caring for isn't pouring back into you. So now you're empty. So take care of yourself first, get to where you need to be. And then at that point in time, if you need to help out, well, when it's time, help out the people that you need to help out. But that's it for me today. I just want to say thank you to everybody listening on whatever platform you're listening on, whether that's Google, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is that you're, wherever you're listening to me from I appreciate you listening. And for the people watching on YouTube, I appreciate you taking the time to watch my episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I want to continue growing, and y'all have a blessed day.